Welcome back to the Epic Family Road Trip. In today's video, I have a pretty exciting piece of gear that we get to show off and test out, which is DJI's new AIR 3S drone. So stay tuned. So as many of you know, on the Epic Family Road Trip, we use drones a whole lot for capturing aerial photography and especially video. It brings a whole new perspective to overlanding and adventure in general, just something you couldn't capture without having a flying camera. And DJI really excels with that. We've used their drones for many, many years now, all the way from the very first iteration of the Mavic lineup of drones to now the Mavic 3 Pro and a bunch of their mini drones as well. And they've been incredible tools for capturing video for us and photography, whether we're in the trucks, Jeeps, on our motorcycles, at the cabin here, or really for any adventure that we've been having as a family. So with the release of the new AIR 3S, it comes with a whole bunch of exciting new features. Definitely for me, being a cinematographer, the new camera, it is a 24mm main camera here. This is a dual camera drone. The bottom camera here is a 24mm, 50 megapixel, 10-bit, 14 stops of dynamic range with a 1-inch sensor. It just has everything that you could want for aerial photography and video especially. It's really an incredible camera to have on a drone of this size. It also has the secondary camera on the top here, which is a 70mm telephoto lens, which is the 3x zoom. You'd be familiar with it on the AIR 3 and on stuff like the Mavic 3 Pro. It's pretty similar to the 3x on there. Punching in on a drone is something that I've really come to love. It just adds so much quality to your video. It makes you be able to capture things you've never been able to capture before, and in a way you can't really capture without the zoom. So having a combination of both a extremely high quality, awesome wide angle lens for capturing basically everything, and then being able to punch in for details and cool cinematic shots with the 70mm lens is quite nice. So some of the exciting new features on this compared to the AIR 3, one of them most notably is this is DJI's first drone to have a forward-facing LiDAR for obstacle avoidance on it. This really comes in handy in low light situations. So the low light has improved over the AIR 3 from 15 lux to 1 or 5 lux. That is quite a dramatic change, but it also is able to detect things like glass and very wispy branches. It's something I've actually been able to test out here during my first flight on the island, is just flying straight into an area with trees and watching the drone effortlessly avoid all the branches and things that would typically take out a drone. So now I'm just gonna test out the obstacle avoidance with the new LiDAR system on the AIR 3S. I'm pretty much just gonna go straight through the trees. It'll be in normal flight mode. So the drone's in sport mode right now, but I'll be flying it in normal. And as soon as it swaps, you can hear some beeping on the remote. It's detecting me and other things that surround it, like the chimney back there. But with the new avoidance systems, I should be able to just put the stick forward. I'm gonna go slow on this first test, but it'll avoid even wispy tree branches, of course trees, and it should just make its way out to the lake without me really flying it. Well, that was pretty cool. It was a little nerve-wracking, but I literally just pushed the stick forward. It was at a height and level where it would have hit these branches that are sitting on a tree, would have hit a tree, and a few other obstacles as we went out towards the lake if it didn't have this obstacle avoidance. So it was able to detect even really thin branches and of course the trees and stuff around it and just effortlessly avoid it. I didn't do a single thing. It was dropping in altitude and raising depending on the terrain that it was trying to weave around. So I'm gonna do it again, just straight behind me. It's gonna, at this current level, it'll hit the lights and branches and trees that are ahead of me, but it should avoid them. Having that feature for me is really nice. It's something that gives me a lot of peace of mind while filming. We're often filming, like I said, motorcycles and Jeeps through narrow trails, and that's always been a worry of mine, and definitely something for those followers who have been with us for a long time. When you saw our trip in BC in the mountains, I believe we called it the Epic Fail Road Trip, the video, we crashed 2 Mavic 2 Pros in a matter of 1 week. And that was just due to hitting obstacles. Now granted, I was flying in sport mode, so there was no obstacle avoidance. I know the Mavic 2 Pros also had great obstacle avoidance for their time, but this LiDAR and all the modern technology is really a step above and a cut above all the rest. So one of the other features I really like is their new batteries. So these batteries allow this drone to have a 45-minute flight time, which is quite considerable. It's something that really comes in handy when you're on long shoots or flying in sport mode, as I often do, keeping up with motorcycles and trucks, and then just really having all the time you can in the air, continuing your shots and stuff when it's crunch time, like sunsets, sunrises, or when a big move is happening with the trucks or a really cool trail. You don't want to have to swap out batteries, and you want to stay in the air as long as you can to keep capturing. And this 45 minutes is quite a considerable amount of time. It is very impressive for a drone of this size. So talking about cameras and obstacle avoidance, I did my first flight yesterday in the sunset. Dan and Lando went out fishing. I was able to capture a bunch of that and edit the footage, and man, it looks amazing. Having 14 stops of dynamic range really helps preserve the highs and lows when you're in post-production and coloring the video. And the updated algorithms within the AIR 3S help with that a lot, and that is something that's very nice to have in a drone. So another awesome feature of this drone that really gives you a bit of peace of mind is the next-gen smart return to home. This allows for the drone to return to home even without satellite positioning and in low light situations. So that goes back to the new sensors on the drone, and especially the LiDAR that's on here. It allows for a much safer experience while flying your drone in low light, such as late sunsets or the afterglow, early morning flights, or even in the dark if you're flying for nightscape photography or video. So the only thing to do now is use this drone over the next few days and test out all of its features. One thing I'm excited about is it is now capable of 4K at 120 filming on the main camera, the 24mm. So you can get slow-mo aerial video, which is super exciting. It's something I've tested out on the Mavic, and it's something I really look forward to on this more compact drone.
Whether you're a professional filmmaker, a YouTuber, or just someone who wants to capture your weekend adventures for future generations, we highly recommend the DJI AIR 3S. The tracking features allow you to keep your hands on the wheel while capturing the excitement of the adventure. The low light features extends your day, letting you shoot those epic scenes around the campfire. The forward-facing LiDAR and sensors help you fly your drone safely, avoiding obstacles. And with the extended battery life, you'll be able to capture all of your favorite moments. In our opinion, the DJI AIR 3S is the ultimate dual-camera traveler's drone.